My pleasant duty this afternoon is to welcome you on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the Executive of the Mooring House Trust. To thank you all for coming, to indicate to you that while we're here to view a promotional presentation by Emeritus Professor distinguished Guyanese, born in Guyana, registered in Barbados, and at the young age of 79, he'll be 80 in November. I wish I could age as well as he has done. If I can ask Professor Gilkes to stand and be recognized in the acknowledgement. He has asked me not to be too lengthy in terms of his introduction, but I do believe that it would be a tragedy if I didn't, for those who don't know him. He has been an academic for many years, as a Professor Emeritus of the University of Guyana, formerly reader in English and head of the English department at the UWI Cape campus, has been a teacher all of his adult life at the University of Guyana, University of the West Indies in St. Lucia and in Virginia, a founding member and first artistic director of the Barbados-based theatre company Stage 1, and he's been involved in the theatre arts for over 40 years as actor, director, playwright, dramaturge and filmmaker. His credits as drama director include Franklin, Derek Walcott, the world premiere in Guyana in 1968, Moon and Rainbow Shawl by Earl John in Barbados in 1983, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare in Barbados in 1985, The Pizza Man, Remembrance by Derek Walcott, and The Vermont, The Untold Story. His credits as playwright and director include Kuvale, published by Dangaroo Press in 1990 and performed in Guyana and Jamaica, the National Theatre of Kenya and the Kiskadee Centre in London, A Pleasant Career, which won the Guyana Prize for Drama in 1992, The Real Thing in St. Lucia, Barbados, This Island Now, Antigone, The Last of the Red Men, Guyana Prize for Drama, first performed in Georgetown in January of 2006, and Michael played the main role in both Remembrance and The Last of the Red Men. He's also directed and produced films for Heartland Productions, an educational Caribbean film company that pioneered in Guyana. His film credits include Family of the Caribbean, a documentary on Guyana Caribbean culture, Sargasso, the first film version of the novel White Sargasso Sea by Jaguar, filmed in Dominica, Concert in the Rainforest, a 25-minute documentary filmed in Guyana's rainforest, The Art of Derek Walcott, a 25-minute documentary on Walcott's work, The Landscape of Dreams, an illustrated interview with the novelist Wilson Harris, Ty Jean and His Brothers, a Derek Walcott play adapted for film, shot in Barbados, and Vermont, The Untold Story, a play adapted for film in 2009, and a Bermuda National Trust production. So you can see, colleagues and friends, the extent to which he has been involved in the arts and in, as I said, the world of academia, and we're very privileged to have Michael here with us today. My association with him goes back probably 2 decades or more. Then we were associated in planning and organizing and executing the concert in the Rainforest, which was filmed primarily in Wayway territory with Dr. Ray Luck, Guyanese musician, being a leading figure. Michael, for the time that I've known him, has always been concerned about this divide between the coast and the hinterland, and has tried more recently over the last 20 years or so to try to bridge that gap by using the medium of film and storytelling. This film, Maira and the Jaguar people, is a story told by a shaman about two youngsters, but I don't want to steal his thunder. He will explain that. But from our standpoint, we are, in fact, on the eve. Tomorrow is the eve of our Republic anniversary. And it's very good that what I've seen, particularly at Maira House, is the extent to which there has been a flourishing of art, of poetry, of song, of dance, not only here, but the Theatre Guild. And Vanda did speak earlier about the role of of this trust here and the legacy of David and his family. David was instrumental as chairman of the rehabilitation committee. I was his deputy, and we had a number of other Guyanese to restore the Theatre Guild to what it is now. It was not an easy job. We had to raise $100 million, but we did it in 1 year. 80 million in cash and 20 million in kind. And I hope today that we can raise $100 million because the whole purpose of this is not just only to tell you about the film, but also to try to stimulate the kind of interest, particularly among corporates and donors and ordinary persons, anyone who can give, even if it's a widow's mite, to help to promote this film because it's such a wonderful medium for education and building community awareness. Community awareness has to be a starting point for change. And if we reflect back on the petroglyphs, the ways in which community is recorded, I always tell the story about a friend of mine, an explorer, John Blatchford Snell, fishing in YY territory with a 14-year-old youth in a canoe. And after he had caught the third pirai, the youngster, so John said, the fishing is good, I mean, why can't I catch more? And he pointed to a rock of 3 fishes. And that was the conservation responsibility of all YY to ensure that in this particular fishing hole, you did not catch more than 3 fishes. As we speak, George Simon, another eminent Guyanese, is doing some very groundbreaking work at the Mountain of the Sacred Table, which is just on the western side of Annai, Rockview. That is something that came to our knowledge only very recently, over the last, from 1995, when George made his first visit there with a shaman from Brazil, to interpret some of the things that we found here. And he's gone back again this year to develop that theme with the same shaman, and has found, among other things, an area where wounded or sick Patamonas used as a hospital in a cave, interpreted the grooves that they found on a rock, and he's going to be speaking, I hope, at Maira House Trust before long to explain the significance of that site. We also have a number of other initiatives being taken in terms of capturing the music, recording music, the propagation of the arts in different forms. But today we're here to look at the film being made about a story being told about a shaman speaking about 2 kids to other youth and explaining and interpreting for them what exactly the meaning of life and death and the symbolism of the animal world and the animal kingdom. The central animal in today's discussion or presentation is the jaguar. And for those of you who have been in the interior or the hinterland and have interacted with some of the elders, you will know the spiritual, mystical role of the jaguar in the history of the First Peoples. The shape-shifting and the talking jaguar. And the fact that, you know, the connection is such that only a few weeks ago, there is a group here from Panthera, which is the foremost agency globally working towards the conservation of the jaguar. And we have been informed that the range of this jaguar extends from Mexico all the way down to Argentina. So all of the countries along that corridor, so to speak, are being encouraged to ensure that the jaguar has the ability to be able to move across the landscapes from Mexico all the way down to Argentina. It's a fascinating work in progress, and we have currently in Guyana a representative of Panthera who is using camera traps, etc., to locate where the jaguar populations are, and to work with communities to ensure that no barriers are put up to interfere with that corridor, because the jaguar has the ability to move through the landscapes, including through cattle ranches, etc. And they will only feed on cattle or sheep or human beings if their links in the food chain, the peccary, the white-tailed deer, and the large river turtle, which are their primary food sources, if those are interfered with. If those are interfered with, then they start preying on domestic animals. Okay, so we have a vested interest in ensuring that they're allowed free passage across, and they're the only member of the cat family to have genetic consistency. There's no separate race in the jaguar population. The DNA code is the same throughout the world. It's the only member of the cat family to have it.